What's up? Yeah, my legs is hairy, bro. Sheesh, boy, ready for the winter. How's it going, buds? Welcome to my room once again. As I talked about a month ago, I think, or so, we'd be returning in November. Yeah, I'm alive. I'm okay. I'm healthy. We good. We're back at home now. Before we get on with today's video, though, I just want to say hi and eat a cracker. Well, I forgot what I was going to say. We're going to get back in business, though, real soon, so super looking forward to that. There's some really awesome stuff I'm going to share with you guys in this video towards the end. Before this video begins, though, I would like to preface it saying what you're about to see is a bit more, it's a different kind of video. It's a little bit more serious. I talk about some things that have been happening in my life the past 2 years and what I was just able to do, this awesome journey that I just took part of. So again, it's a little bit different of a video than you would normally see on this channel, but I really just wanted to highlight my experience, share with you guys what I've been learning, and some awesome stuff that is to come. What I'll be sharing is something that I actually wrote out to kind of comprehend my experience a little bit better. So with that, I hope you guys enjoy it, I hope you guys get something out of it, and I will see you all very, very soon. We got a lot of stuff cooking up, so I'm looking forward to it, but I'll leave you guys to it. Please enjoy. There was once a man, a visionary, a man not held back by his imagination. He one day told his wife that he envisioned an organization where students would mentor students, where teenagers would use their voice to communicate for a change, and where next generation Christians would be empowered to influence today's culture. An organization that would be a wellspring of life, of people pouring into one another year after year. An organization that wouldn't just span the United States, but the entire globe, empowering people with skills that would change their life forever. And so came the nonprofit organization, the Institute for Cultural Communicators, where all of this would be true, and where this story begins. I've been a part of the Institute for the last 11 years of my life, and through it, have grown rapidly in my public speaking skills through the many amazing in-person events it offers, its curriculum, and its in-person tournaments. But mostly from the mentoring I've received from peers and adults who have a genuine care and compassion for seeing students grow in their character and their competency. My growing love for the platform and enjoyment of video games is actually what ultimately led me to creating this channel. A huge staple of the Institute is its student leadership. And after years and years of serving in the many different student leadership roles, there was only one left that I had yet to fulfill. And that was the role of ambassador, which is a fancy way of saying intern. This role entails working alongside a team of fellow ambassadors who are peers, creating experiences, programs, and conferences to empower this generation to be ready to speak and to teach vital skills like communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and cultural intelligence. The Institute's ambassadors used to tour the country and the world bringing these experiences and conferences to students. But since 2020, it has since shifted to an online format, not only continuing to provide these experiences to the United States and also global countries like Malaysia and Singapore, but recently also added these experiences for 2 African countries, Ghana and Gambia. Around this time last year, I became a prospective intern and got to learn and train alongside the group of peers that I would be working with should I decide to be an intern. I knew the training that I would receive from this experience would be incredibly beneficial, and I already loved the team that I'd be working with, as I already knew some of them and I loved the ones that I hadn't even met yet. One of them was also from Singapore. But I had already been part of this organization so long, and I felt God tugging me in other directions for my life. So after everything that I had experienced with that team and all the training that we had received thus far, I decided to say no. But God had other plans. In truth, I had actually really been struggling since the year 2020. I ended up leaving the Institute for a year, which was a really hard decision because the community had been such a huge part of my life for so long. Little did I know I was entering one of the hardest seasons of my life. With the start of the outbreak, California's regulations made it nearly impossible to see any of my friends and family, and to add to all of that, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. Immediately, any chance I had of seeing anyone was immediately gone. And now there was even a new possibility that I could lose my own mother. Doubt, fear, and vacancy of company became very familiar friends during this time. People came and went in my life, and I felt incredibly unmotivated and uninspired to do any work, school, or YouTube, and even seeing people at one point. When I became a prospective intern last winter, it was incredibly refreshing, as I hadn't had that great sense of community or companionship in a really long time, and there's truly no one like the people in the Institute. Everyone is so incredibly talented and motivated, pursuing their own dreams and their own aspirations. They're talented even outside of public speaking. But as I said before, during this time in my life, I really felt that there was something else for me. And so, ultimately, I told the Institute that I would not be touring with the 2022 Ambassador team, and I attended my last event with that in mind. As I neared the end of my time during my last conference as a student before I became an alumni, I realized how afraid I was to return home. I felt that I didn't have much opportunity or community back home, and I had been lacking a sense of direction for the last 2 years of my life. Though I already made my decision. There was no going back, and I was supposed to return home after this event and decide and see where I would go next in my life, right? Wrong. By the grace of God, He gave me the courage to step up, to recognize that this community and this training and these people was where that He wanted me to be. And He gave me the courage to speak with the Institute's executive leaders. And with a huge amount of grace on their part, they actually allowed me to join the ambassador team last minute. But this is only as long as I was able to get my parents' blessing, and then I was able to fundraise enough money for the opportunity, as being a nonprofit, this internship or ambassadorship was something that I had to fundraise for. My prospective intern team was overjoyed at me joining them on this journey. And even though I had already been gone from home for a month for a prior summer trip before my final Institute event, I would now be moving in with my ambassador team and beginning a journey that I would not soon forget. So, a really amazing organization, an awesome community, and I had just made a decision that would change the course of the next 6 or so months of my life. This was about to be an amazing journey. Now, as part of this team, I would get to tour alongside them around the country. We started in South Carolina, where we got to lead some programs for students in a small town of Ridgeway. We also went to Branson, Missouri, where we got to meet up with our presentation coach, who is also a professional actor at the Sight and Sound Theater. We also got to see him play Jesus in the play Jesus. What? I think one of our team's favorite memories was watching our presentation coach ride down the center aisle of the theater on a donkey. It was pretty incredible. We also had the opportunity to tour the backstage of the Sight and Sound Theater, and the next day we got to give one of our programs to the Sight and Sound cast, which was absolutely incredible. I also got to live out my dream of being a Jedi Master, as one of the Sight and Sound cast members invited me to a sudden lightsaber duel. Later in our tour, we also traveled to Maryland, where we toured Washington, D.C., and a little bit later, toward the end of our tour, we went to Louisiana for beignets and New Orleans. Oh, look at this. This is every table, okay? I know I'm spilling a lot, but it's so good.
You're creating the problem, Ian.
It's the best thing ever. But it's all the way over here. We live half across the country from this delicacy. Oh my God. At one point, our team also had the opportunity to provide some leadership training to staff at a Christian camp based in Tennessee known as Doe River Gorge. The staff were some absolutely amazing guys, and they received our training so well, and later in the day, during our time, they would take us out on high adventure courses, one of them being known as the Via Ferrata, which has got to be one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. Picture this. You're on the side of a cliff with holding onto giant staples when you have two clips. Two clips are the only things holding you on the side of this rock. You're clipped into this wire that runs along it, and you're reclipping and unclipping and climbing. It was insane. It was nuts. Almost died. I didn't actually, but I could have. Our team led online conferences for multiple areas in the US, but we also had the opportunity to lead some of our conferences for the Southeast Asia area, so Malaysia and Singapore, and also the African countries of Ghana and Gambia. Leading these conferences meant functioning within their time zones, which meant me and my team had to be up at the hours that they were, which meant that we were up during the night and asleep during the day. It was a little bit rough. Even though online, I learned through these experiences the value of considering carefully what you say and how you act, as something that we said or did as simple as a thumbs up means something totally different in another culture. Through all of these experiences, we were able to touch the lives of around 600 students, as well as all the people that we met along our touring of America and people that we met and engaged with online. We got to show them the value of being ready to speak, and that they have a voice and that it matters. We got to show them that in places where that especially isn't very widely accepted. We also got to show them that with that voice, we can influence today's culture. The way that God brought me and my team closer through all of these experiences and allowed us to impact so many lives was an absolutely incredible experience. But with all of that impact through these experiences, I personally have been impacted and changed by this experience. This ambassadorship really tested my limits. It pushed me to the edge and then even further than that. Through that though, my bandwidth for challenge has grown exponentially. And most of all, my faith in God and trusting Him in the hard times and the good times has also grown. It's grown more than it has in my entire life. In talking with my presentation coach throughout my ambassadorship, he's revealed to me that when you're passionate about something, when you have something that you enjoy so much, whether that be an art or talent, when you have something to share with the world, there really isn't anything else to do but to share it. He told me the world doesn't need artists who want to make art. The world needs artists who have to. Whatever art that may be to you, whatever you do best, whatever feels like breathing, whatever talent God has blessed you with, I challenge you to share it. And if you don't know what that might be, that's okay too. You have to allow yourself time to discover it. But YouTube is something that I'm passionate about. Something that's like breathing to me. It's my art in my own way. Over my ambassadorship, there are 3 words that came to me that describe what I want to accomplish through this channel and in my own life. I want to entertain, inspire, and embolden this generation. In whatever wacky or strange Ebuds fashion that may be. I want to spread light where there is dark in this world. And I'm excited to announce that my friends Taj, Jojo, and Jacob have recently decided that they want to join me in that journey and share their own arts and talents with all of you and in this channel, and to entertain, inspire, and embolden. I'm looking forward to what's about to happen. And I have faith that whatever it is, it'll be good. So to those here, I'm looking forward to experiencing that with all of you. Until next time.